screaming with no voice. You're trapped in a nightmare. Something's chasing you. You inhale and scream, except nothing comes out, not a whisper. This happens because during REM sleep, your brain switches on rematonia, a paralysis that stops your real muscles from acting out your dreams. That includes your vocal cords. Your dream voice is just your brain simulating what yelling feels like without actually moving your real vocal cords. The result? Silence that somehow makes the fear worse, because your mind translates it as you are in danger and no one can hear you. Punching or running in slow motion. You square up to throw a punch, or you try to run from danger, but it's like moving through syrup. Every movement is painfully slow. The reason? Your motor cortex is firing like normal, but your muscles are paralyzed. Without real sensory feedback, your brain struggles to simulate speed. It's like playing a video game with extreme lag. Your commands register, but the action drags. Your dream enemies, of course, never seem to have this problem. Suddenly being naked in public. You're giving a speech, shaking hands, smiling, then you glance down. You're naked, in front of everyone. This isn't random embarrassment. Psychologists believe it's your brain's shortcut for showing vulnerability. It's the ultimate unprepared scenario, dialed to maximum humiliation, and it usually connects to something in real life. Maybe an upcoming test, presentation, or first date. Your subconscious just swaps the anxiety for the fastest, most universally awkward metaphor it knows. By the way, did you know some people dream entirely in black and white? And here's the weird part. It's more common in people who grew up watching black and white TV, and scientists still aren't sure why. Falling forever. The ground vanishes under you. Your stomach lurches. You keep falling, down and down and down, but never hit anything. This can happen when your inner ear, which controls balance, sends your dreaming brain fake motion signals. Your brain builds an entire falling sequence around them. Sometimes it's triggered by a hypnic jerk, that sudden twitch you get as you're drifting to sleep. Your mind senses the movement, thinks you're falling, and runs with the story, being chased, but can't run. The footsteps are getting closer. You push forward with all your strength, but your legs barely move. Evolution might be to blame. Dreams often simulate threat rehearsal, practice runs for survival situations. But in REM sleep, your muscles are frozen, so your brain's running simulation ends up warped. The chase often ends before you're caught. Not because you escaped, but because your brain decides rehearsal time is over. Dream loop, false awakenings. You open your eyes, you get out of bed, you check your phone, and then, bam, you wake up again. False awakenings happen when your brain starts the process of waking but doesn't fully exit REM sleep. You get stuck in a weird in-between, bouncing back into another dream. Some people loop multiple times, each wake-up feeling just as real as the last, until they start wondering if they've ever actually woken up. Sudden scene jumps. You're at the office, you blink, and now you're on the moon. Blink again and you're back in your childhood home. No explanation. Dreams don't need physical transitions. Your brain cares about emotional continuity, not spatial logic. It simply swaps out backgrounds while keeping the mood consistent, like changing a stage set mid-performance. You usually don't realize how bizarre it is until after you wake up. Dreams within dreams. You wake up, relieve the nightmare's over, only to realize you're still dreaming. This happens when your brain layers dream logic over itself, especially in lighter stages of sleep where REM and wakefulness overlap. Your mind can simulate the feeling of waking up without actually exiting the dream. It's like Inception, but instead of corporate espionage, you're usually just confused, tired, and wondering why your alarm hasn't gone off yet. Speaking languages you don't know. In the dream, you're fluent in Japanese, or Spanish, or even Valyrian, a language that only exists in Game of Thrones. But your brain isn't magically downloading grammar, it's improvising. Any scraps of real words you've ever heard, movie lines, signs, random phrases, get stitched together into something that feels authentic. It's the same trick that makes dream text change every time you look back at it. Your brain is generating it in real time. Lucid dreams. You're spending the perfect vacation, sitting on the boat of your dreams, sipping an ice-cold cocktail that somehow tastes like pure happiness, when suddenly, wait a second, this isn't real. You're dreaming. At first you're a little upset, but then it hits you. If this is a dream, you can do whatever you want. And that's exactly what lucid dreaming is. When the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain, wakes up just enough during REM sleep for you to realize you're inside your own simulation. Now you can rewrite the script. Fly, breathe underwater, teleport to another planet, or summon a dinosaur just because you can. The only danger? Getting too excited. That rush of awareness can wake you up instantly. The secret is to stay calm, keep playing along, and hold on to the dream world for as long as possible. Teeth falling out. You're talking, smiling or laughing, and then you feel it. One tooth wiggles, then another. Suddenly they're all crumbling into your hands. It's unsettling because it taps into two primal fears: physical vulnerability and loss of control. Psychologists link this dream to anxiety, self-image concerns, or feeling powerless in real life. On a sensory level, your brain might even borrow the memory of a real loose tooth from childhood and replay it, turning it into a horror scene you can feel. And there's one dream glitch so strange, it actually inspired a real-life hit song. We'll get to that in a minute, but first, can't speak clearly. You try to explain something important, but your words come out as garbled nonsense, like your mouth is full of marbles. This happens for the same reason as screaming with no voice, rheum atonia. Your actual speech muscles are paralyzed, so your brain's speech simulation runs without real movement feedback. The result is a scrambled mix of words that you understand perfectly in the dream, but that makes zero sense if you try to say them out loud. Seeing people with warped faces. You're talking to a friend, and halfway through, their features melt into something alien. Eyes too far apart, mouth stretched impossibly wide. This comes from how your brain processes faces. It uses a mental average of the human face to recognize people. In dreams, that template can glitch, pulling in mismatched features from random memories. It's deeply unsettling because your brain knows the face is wrong, but it can't fix it fast enough to make it normal again. Melting or changing environments. You're walking through a city and the buildings start drooping like candle wax, or the walls fade, replaced by a beach. Dreams don't store worlds as fixed maps. They generate them in real time. If your brain decides to shift the mood or location, it can melt or morph the scenery instantly. It's like a theater crew swapping sets mid-scene, except the crew is your subconscious and it has no respect for realism. Impossible object interaction. You pick up a book, but the pages turn into water. You grab your phone and it folds like paper. In dreams, the rules of physics are suggestions at best. Objects are just placeholders for concepts. If the object's meaning shifts, so does its form. Your brain isn't trying to trick you, it's just not programmed to render perfect 3D reality while you sleep. Random people from different life phases. You're hanging out with your childhood best friend, your old math teacher, and Donald Trump at the same time. Dreams pull characters from all eras of your memory without caring about the timeline. If someone fits the emotional vibe your brain is building, they get cast in the scene, even if it makes zero logical sense. That's why you can have a conversation between people who never met in real life, and it feels completely normal. Reused dream locations. You walk into a place you know you've been before, but only in a dream. The brain can save dream maps just like video game levels, reusing them months or years later. They might be stitched together from real places you've seen, plus a few made-up details, but in the dream, they're instantly familiar, like your subconscious has been keeping them in storage. Time warp. You spend weeks on a journey, living days, months, even years. Then you wake up and realize you've been asleep for 20 minutes. Dreams have no consistent timeline. They can skip over boring parts like a movie montage or stretch a single moment for what feels like forever. This happens because your brain isn't keeping real-world time. It's building a sequence of events that feels like a story, even if the clock makes no sense. Seeing yourself in third-person perspective. You're in the dream, but you're also watching yourself from outside your own body. This perspective shift comes from your brain blending first-person memory, your experiences, with third-person imagery, like scenes from movies. It's your mind experimenting with narrative style, switching from actor to audience, without warning. Dream rewrites mid-story. You're in the middle of a dream plot, then the whole thing changes. The villain becomes your friend. The setting flips from desert to snowstorm. This happens because your brain constantly edits dream content on the fly, responding to your emotions, memories, or random neuron firings. It's like a writer tearing out pages mid-script and replacing them. Only here, you don't even notice how absurd the rewrite is until you wake up. Hearing music that doesn't exist. You're at a concert or the radio's playing, and you're hearing the most beautiful song you've ever heard, except it doesn't exist. Your brain is composing music in real time using fragments of melodies you've heard before, stitched together into something entirely new. The weird part? Many people wake up unable to remember it, like the song was erased the moment they left the dream. Fun fact, this isn't just dream trivia. Some of the world's most famous songs were born this way. So next time you dream a masterpiece, maybe sleep with a recorder by your bed. Objects or people shapeshifting. You're talking to your friend, and mid-sentence, they become your cousin or your pet. Dream characters aren't fixed. They're bundles of emotions and associations. If the role changes, your brain swaps the actor instantly, even if you're looking right at them. It's like casting changes in a play that happened mid-scene without anyone acknowledging it. Feeling physical pain in a dream. You stub your toe, get stabbed, or feel the burn of fire, and it actually hurts. Pain in dreams is rare, but when it happens, it's usually because your brain is borrowing a real-world sensation, like an ache in your body or pressure from your blanket, and plugging it into the dream's narrative. The sensation might be exaggerated or twisted to fit the story, making it feel far worse than the real source. Breathing underwater. You dive into the ocean and realize you can breathe just fine. This happens when your dream ignores real-world biology and runs on imagination rules instead. Because you're not actually holding your breath in real life, your body isn't sending any panic signals, so your brain assumes breathing underwater is perfectly normal. And here's something that still blows my mind. Some people can smell in their dreams, and the scent is just as strong as in real life. Ever happened to you? Perfectly clear vision without glasses. And now for the question most people with glasses get asked at some point. Do you see clearly in your dreams without your glasses? And as someone who wears glasses, let me answer that. Yes, we do. We don't need them in dreams. That's because dream vision doesn't come from your eyes. It comes from your brain. More specifically, from your brain's mental model of the world. And that model? It has no blur. What you're seeing isn't actual sight. It's pure memory rendering. Every one of these dream glitches is just your brain running wild, mixing memories, emotions, and pure imagination into a private reality that vanishes the moment you wake up. But the truth is, we still don't know why we dream at all. So, what's your wildest dream? I've had plenty, but once I dreamed I was an Avenger. No clue what my superpower was, but it was awesome. If you liked this video, hit like and subscribe and stick around, because we've got way more strange facts about the mind, the human body, psychology, and beyond.